You're now tuned in to the Soulful Stir with Tash and Diamond Symoné.
And we're back.
What's up? What's up?
What's
up, y'all?
Welcome to another episode of the Soulful Stir. I'm Diamond Symoné.
And I'm Tash.
What's good?
Girl, nothing much. Well, I guess, last week I talked about how I've been manifesting so much stuff. And so because of that, I've had to take a look at myself in the proverbial mirror. And I'm going to say for the first time in a long time, I don't feel like myself. I will say that because the self that I would be referring to would be myself from before compounded loss. And so I won't ever be that person again because that person had different people in her life. But I will say the person that I am now, allowing myself to become organically and intentionally, I like her. Like I really am pleased with myself. Like I've been evaluating like the conversations I have with people and how I communicate with people now. I've been evaluating like the things I do and the things that I allow in my psyche, in my alone time. I'm thinking about all of that. Like I'm in this very reflective state. And since I'm not on like, actively like on social media, like I used to be, like Instagram and Facebook, which are like my main two social media platforms, I have been able to like really think without the influence of groupthink. And like I don't know what's going on right now, so the only things that I can concern myself with in my world are the things that I'm aware of. And I think it's kind of like an ignorance is bliss type of state of mind right now, and I like it. I like who I am, because I'm still holding boundaries and I'm still speaking up and standing up for myself and holding space, but I'm allowing the freedom of life to just take place. And I talked to my therapist about it, and she said, in her professional opinion, what I was experiencing, that because I was an over responsible child, I've always been overly responsive. I've always been, this very stable force for a lot of people, including myself. That now, whereas other people do it when they're younger, I'm on the older side of things, but I'm experiencing the freedom that I never got to experience. But it feels different on this side because I'm not experiencing it, as a broke 20-year-old. I'm experiencing it as a almost 40-year-old person that's in their career, that, got a cute couple dollars in the bank, that knows how to maneuver through life, that knows what's right and wrong. Like I know the proper boundaries in order to express and live in this freedom. And I like it. I'm doing stuff that I historically or traditionally would not have done, and making decisions for myself just out of, honestly, I used to make a lot of decisions out of fear and preparedness for the future, more of like I'm making decisions so I can be safe. Now I'm making decisions so I can thrive and I can live, and I'm making decisions that I normally wouldn't make, but I'm making them because they feel good, and I finally like feel good.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I feel like you said a lot of important stuff, and one of the things that I can really side with you on and I've had that similar experience is being an overly responsible person. My family jokes that I'm the family manager, and it's funny until it ain't.
Yeah.
It's funny until it ain't, because it's very overwhelming to have that level of responsibility and to have always had that level of responsibility since I was really young, and it's a lot. And so I'm glad that you're at the point where you are making those decisions and realizing that everything doesn't have to be so responsible and so rational and so well thought out to the point where you psych yourself out of whatever it is that might just truly add a little zest to your overall life experience. You know, I think it's important for us to zero in on the things that we truly desire and want to do. And it doesn't always have to have a rhyme or reason behind it. Just do the shit. And wait, let me back that up. Do the shit as long as it's safe and not gonna keep you out of trouble.
Yes.
And you're not harming anybody or anything. You're not harming yourself. You know, if it's something that is positive and it's gonna bring you joy and it's something that you really want to do, a place that you really want to travel to, just go ahead and do it. Like, I feel like we psych ourselves out of a lot of life experience just based on the fact that we are constantly in survival mode from every aspect of the spectrum of life. Whether it's paying bills, managing your family, managing your own mental health, your everyday schedule, going to work, dealing with people on a day-to-day, inside and outside of work. It is a lot. And sometimes we just put what we actually want to do on a back burner for what we have to do in the moment. So I'm glad that you are evolving in such a way that you enjoy this little life, this version of yourself, because it's important. I mean, we spend the most time with ourselves, right?
Yeah, facts.
You might want to enjoy this person yourself.
Yeah.
You might want to enjoy this version of yourself. And I do think that life is a spectrum of highs and lows, right? Like, everybody gets their fair share of rain, and sometimes that shit don't be feeling fair though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I feel like sometimes you get a little bit more rain than other people, and
trust me,
I feel like you can say that, I'm sure, from some spectrums of your life and your experiences, and I can say the same. But all in all, I do think that joy truly does come in the morning. And there's something about that part of it that makes me personally want to explore a bit more and want to be more open and just say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm just going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you are enjoying this version of yourself. I will share that my garden is overflowing, and I mean that in a good way, but also in like I don't know, like, what to do way. I just gotta, okay, because let me back up. I'm a gardener, but I'm still, like, I'm not an OG gardener. Okay, I'm still learning and growing and learning about plants and how to take care of them and which plants are supposed to do, how am I supposed to care for specific plants. Well, I didn't know that I had to trim my tomato plants back. And maybe this is gardening 101. Maybe somebody's going to hear this and laugh. But I have to trim my tomato plants back because right now they're trying to, like, grow into a bush. And I did not see this takeoff start to happen until I fertilized them last month. And I made my own fertilizer. The fertilizer that I made is called weed tea, and you literally just pull the weeds from your grass, from your lawn, and put it in a bucket of water, and you put, like, just a little splash of beer, any kind of beer, in it, and the beer helps to release the compounds from the weeds that are good for the plants to grow. That thing that gives it that boost. You know how weeds pop up in your grass and they, like, short one day and they, like, field the next day. Pulls those compounds and you fertilize with that. Well, I did as it said, and the shit actually worked. And so now I have to spend some time in my garden. I wanted to do it today, but today really just got away from me, and I'm gonna have to take some time to care for my garden a little bit more, based off of the fact that I've been so busy these last few days, and it's just taking over. It's taking over the block. It's not really taking over the block, but like in theory, like it technically could if I just let it grow out of control one day. But yeah, I'm glad that my garden is overflowing, because it's nothing like being able to cook. Like I've been cooking and just going out into my garden and getting herbs to put in my food, because I have rosemary outside. I have orange mint for tea. If I want to have lemongrass, tea, I just go get it out my backyard. And my potatoes are growing. I can't wait to harvest those. It's a good thing. It's a good feeling.
I've always wanted to garden, but I don't think I have the consistent lifestyle to do so. Like, I just feel like I travel too much. I'm just always all over the place. And until I can sit down, I don't think I should undertake such a hefty task. But also at the same time, I don't foresee myself sitting down anytime soon, because I really don't want to. Like, this is what I wanted to be, like, kind of on the go a little bit and live this elusive life. And I'm almost there, because people are always like, where you gonna be at? Are you leaving? I'm like, no, I ain't got no plane ticket. Then 2 days later, I'll be like, oh, actually, I just booked a flight because I gotta go do this. And I actually like it. I like to have the ability to do stuff like that, even though I do complain about packing and unpacking and airport travel. But I do like to be able to be on the go like that. And I don't trust nobody enough to take care of my stuff while I'm gone. Like,
I understand.
I already be trying to, like, figure out my little plant situation with the 2 little plants I got. You know what I'm saying? They house plants. I just be trying to figure them out when I'm gone for periods of time. And I just kind of got to water them before I go and pray about it. And then 2, I just, I don't know. Because I don't want to have that problem either, where I feel like I'm yielding a good harvest and I can't do nothing with it. Because I saw my grandfather deal with that before he transitioned. He had a garden, and he would literally grow all of this stuff and be trying to give it away. And, it's only so much you can take, and have at one time. And so he just kind of started getting frustrated, because he started getting really good harvests, but he couldn't really do too much with what he had. So I don't know. Maybe life will change and I'll be able to do something one day. If not, you always got what I need.
That is true. I even have green beans. My green beans have started to sprout. I'm just grateful and amazed at the same time, because a couple years ago, I started, trying to grow a little something. But this year I've expanded and it just keeps getting better. So I'm grateful for my garden, and it helps with mental health too. I feel I enjoy being able to go home and like looking forward to watering my plants and caring for something that needs me to care for it, honestly. In terms of like, in the wilderness, if you will. Not really in the wilderness, but in my own little backyard, in nature.
Yeah.
Spending time with nature, it allows me to do that. So that's my good news. Let's jump into mind, body, and balance, because I want to...
We need the sanctuary scoop before we get there.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm glad you brought that up.
So, guys, we have some new, interesting, good news. I, the lovely one, has decided... If
you're the lovely one, then who am I?
I don't know. But I have decided to create a content segment, kind of in line with some things that I've already been doing, but once again, to create a little bit of content and viewership, as well as just a little bit more of ways for you all to engage with us throughout the week. So if you guys remember, on a few episodes ago, I talked about how I've been like kind of really getting into literature, getting into my reading bag again, just because I went years without reading a lot for pleasure because of law school, etc., etc. Well, now I'm back at it. And, I thought, once again, because of the TikToks, I have been seeing a lot of those TikToks. I don't know if y'all been seeing them, where people are like listening to suspect audiobooks out loud in public, specifically books by the likings of the Quan Mills type authors. So I have decided to introduce a content segment for you all called Tasha's Trash Literature Tuesdays. So essentially on Tuesdays, and it won't be every single Tuesday because life be lifing, but I'm going to strive to every Tuesday, if I can, or every other Tuesday, come to you all with a review from some trash literature that I've read. So if you would like to submit some trash literature that you are aware of, that possibly is either on like Audible, Hoopla, Libby, or like Kindle Unlimited, something that is free, because I ain't really trying to pay for this, y'all. Like let's keep it 100. This is for entertainment. I ain't trying to make nobody
You want
rich.
to get it from the library?
I ain't trying to make nobody rich from their Chat GPT books, okay? So what I'm saying is, if y'all have books that y'all would like to recommend, please send them to us on social media. You can DM them to us or send them to our email, that same one that we use for Counsel and Confessions. But essentially, the books that I'm looking for are going to be roughly about 100 pages or less, because we want something that's quick, that can, I don't want to spend 3 or 4 days reading some long ghetto book that we ain't gonna get nothing out of. I say that to say, please send your recommendations in. I will be reading the books. I will be talking about some highlighted points from the books, if there are any good takeaways from the books, because I have actually already prepared the one for this week. Well, I'm sorry. Yes, for this week that'll be coming. And it is quite interesting, to say the least. It was a 55-page book. I'm not going to tell you the name of it yet, because you got to see it for the review.
The name is wild as hell.
First of all, the name of the author is wild as hell in and of itself, okay? But
True.
I'm going to say that as crazy as the book was, it actually ended on a really good note. Like the takeaway, like it was really weird, because it's a novel, but it was written kind of like an essay. So I felt like the last paragraph was kind of like a wrap-up thesis statement kind of situation, but it brought the book together and it did make sense. So I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of interesting. But I think y'all are gonna like it. It's actually kind of funny, because it's a weird book, and I read it in like a day or two because I didn't have nothing to do. But we will be starting Trash Literature Tuesdays. Please be ready, because these are going to be funny, especially if we get enough book reviews. Recommendations, because we do need some recommendations. I have some kind of scheduled out so far, but we could always use recommendations, viewer's choice.
Give us recommendations on any kind of books, honestly, because I am also a reader. Now, I'm not interested in trash literature because I do like to read things of substance. I'm pretty open with genres, definitely a romance genre, girly. Nonfiction is good for me too. But yeah, send us all kinds of book recommendations that you have. And that's another thing. If you're interested in joining a book club, my cousin and I have a book club that we have. It is a small book club that's local in Detroit, but we do read a lot of great literature. We take a poll on what we actually want to read for the season, and then we just, between she and I, we pull books based on that poll and what people are interested in. We do our meetups, and we do have, snacks and good conversation, all of the things. And it's just a great way to network and to build community and relationships with women who also love to read. So if you are interested, I'm going to put a link in the bio, not the bio, but in the summary of, or the show notes, if you will, for the pod. So if you're interested, just fill that survey out, and we're happy to bring you on board. And I'll also post it on my, on our story for the Soulful Stir, and also my personal page. So yeah, join our book club. It'll be fun. I can't wait till our next meetup. As always, follow us on all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and we have a group on Facebook. Engage with our content. That helps us tremendously. And if you are streaming on YouTube, thank you so much, because we're trying to get our YouTube views up as well. And the other thing I want to share is that I am taking clients for doula work. So, and that's no matter what your due date is. If you are looking for someone to attend your birth, to work with you postpartum, I am a full spectrum doula. So I work prenatal, I attend labors, and I also work in a postpartum space. Hit me up. Follow my page at Art of Doula, or you could connect with me on my personal page. I'm on Instagram at Art of Pressure. But yeah, I am taking clients, and I would love to work with you. Lastly, remember way back in the day, we had a trivia question that was on our Instagram page, and the question came from one of our episodes where Tash allegedly got into a high-speed chase with someone. We wanted to know what kind of car was Tash driving when she got into this chase, allegedly. And the answer, drum roll. That's
so crazy that you know what? That is so funny that you said that, because I'm not even gonna go there.
Please don't, because I feel like it's about to be some bullshit.
Because that's already in my show notes for today for sound check. Like,
drum roll, it was a Chevy Aveo. What color was the car?
It was silver.
Oh, it was silver. It was cute.
It sure
okay.
Was. It was a little silver bullet, baby. That thing used to be flying up the street.
She was driving a silver Chevy Aveo. So thank you to our participants of the trivia question on our pages. And we have a winner of trivia. We told y'all that it would be something in store. Jasmine is our winner. So thank you so much again for participating. We will have something for you. We'll send it. We'll connect with you via DM and get your details, and then send you something in the mail just as a token of appreciation from the Soulful Stir. Well, I do want to get into mind, body, and balance. If you don't have anything else to add for the sanctuary scoop,
I do not. We can get right to it.
Okay. Well, I need to know, what are the best antidotes for muscle recovery? Because I am struggling right now, and I don't remember it being this bad, but I went to water aerobics last week, and Mr. Ralph was
First of all, the fact that his name is Mr. Ralph is crazy.
Mr. Ralph was getting on us, okay? And it was my first time doing water aerobics. One of my sorors invited me to come out and try the class with her. I think it's her second time going to this class. So I tried it out, and I'm like, oh, this, in the beginning, you're like, oh, this should be cool. And it's most of the class is older people too. So it's like, oh, this would be a piece of cake. Yeah, no. And then they incorporate weights, but the weights are like, super light. Well, of course, because I can't imagine trying to move a heavy weight in this water. Like, you're going against the resistance, and you're still moving, and you're doing jumps and kicks and just all of the things. It was a great workout, and I think that might be like my active recovery thing that I do. I do want to get back into Pilates, and I may do yoga too, just to get like a nice stretch in, because that's equally important. But yeah, I really enjoy water aerobics, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm sore.
I've never done water aerobics because, like you said, I've always just looked at it like I'm not doing all that. For one, I don't really ever be in a space that I want to get my hair wet, and I don't trust swim caps like ever, because my hair is way too thick, and I don't ever feel like it properly fits under a swim cap. So therefore, I've never tried it, because I just always felt like, no, I'm good.
They have the ones on Amazon that's specifically for like our hair, like kinkier hair, people that have braids. They're like extra large caps.
Yeah, but I don't be trusting it. And then too, I don't know. I'm just like, I literally just got comfortable like last year with taking a shower at the gym. Like, I don't want to be in no pool with all them folks. Like, I don't even go to the pool in my complex, because I just feel like it'd be too many people over there. Like, I'm not like a water park type person. It's just, I don't know, because I'll get in the pool. Like, I'll go to the beach. I'll go to the ocean. It's just, I don't know. Like, I have this kind of thing where I'll just kind of side-eye something and be like, I don't really know if that's my thing.
I feel like you're in a fishbowl of people.
Yeah, like, when I was going to Lifetime to the gym, I would go to the sauna, and one time I tried to get in a hot tub, like, and it was just weird. Like, I was in there for like 5 minutes and I felt super uncomfortable. So I just got out, like, which is weird because I don't understand that part about me. Because I've like been to a nude resort before and didn't flinch.
Oh, which resort did you go to?
I didn't go to an actual nude resort. I went to the Grand Palladium in Jamaica, in Mobay. And when we went, they have like a nude beach and pool area, like, because it's an adults only property. So they have like a nude adult beach. Well, they call it the adult beach and pool. And it has like its own bar and all this other stuff. But they kind of like separate it from the rest of the resort.
I thought you went to hedonism.
No, not yet. That's on my list of places to go.
Do tell.
Yeah. So like, you know, I do want to go. So if anybody has been, please, you know, you ain't got to be confidential about it because I ain't going to tell your business. But if you want to, you know, send me a DM or email me or something, let me know how your experience was. I would love to know because I do want to go there. Like, that's one of those things that's weird because it's like, I don't want to sound like no man, but I'm like, damn, I want to experience something like that. Like, I want to do that before I get married. But at the same time, it's like, well, damn, do I not want to go with my husband?
Yeah, that like, seemed like it would be fun either way.
I don't know. Because somebody look at my husband
well,
wrong,
I can't say fun because I don't know how I would, like, feel. But, like, it seemed like it would be an interesting experience, to say the least. When I go to Jamaica, people ask me all the time, because I'm Jamaican, they say, oh, well, what's the best resort to go to? And I'm like, I don't know.
Don't go to no resort,
Because I don't stay at a resort. I never have. So I do want to go and stay at a resort because I just never had that experience. But I feel like it would be, like, I feel like it would be nice. But at the same time, I feel like I would just be, I don't feel like I would truly enjoy myself.
No, I mean, it's cool.
It kind of, like, feels like.
Yeah, when we went on, like, a girls trip. So it wasn't like, you know.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was cool.
A girl shit there.
But it's cool. Weird because I'm gonna kind of put a pin in that a little bit because I actually got a question that I'm posing for Rhythm and Groove that's kind of along those lines. So I'm gonna ask that other part then too. Like, we're gonna come back to this travel.
Well, you still didn't tell me the best antidotes for muscle recovery as somebody who works out.
I'm getting back to that.
I know magnesium works well.
Well, yes, that's what I was about to say. I started taking, actually, I do liquid. It's called Mega Mag. It's a trace mineral. I got it from Amazon. I'll send you the link. But I just put droplets in my water every day. And, you know, that'll also help you with your PCOS, with your cramps and stuff, because it'll help you with the pain. It'll stop those sugar cravings. Magnesium is really the miracle drug. Like,
you know what's so interesting? When I do have a cycle, it's not a very painful cycle.
Oh, mine was. Ooh.
I would say maybe the second and third day are probably like the most painful. But other than that, like my cramps and things, they're not that bad. Like, from what I've heard other people experience, I'm grateful for that. But I know that magnesium is a wonder mineral that works through the body. And it does serve PCOS in different ways. So I'm always open to that. But I do have some magnesium spray. I haven't done a soak yet, but that's on my list of just, you know, doing an old-fashioned soak.
Yeah, and like some Epsom salt or something. But my active recovery, to be completely honest, is just walking. Walking on the treadmill or actually outside on like just walking, because it is a very, very low intensity cardio. It's going to help with the stubborn belly fat. It's going to help with all the stuff that that you work out to get rid of. But you're constantly walking. And if you're walking with the correct posture and like not putting too much weight on your joints and on your knees and stuff, it actually helps, it'll help you stretch your body out. Like, for example, after I do weight training in the gym for about an hour or 45 minutes, my cool down for my workout, I only do 1 or 2 cool downs. It's either going to be 20 minutes on a treadmill at a 12 incline, a speed of 3, or I'm going to do 20 minutes on the Stairmaster at a level 6 or a level 7. I do that, but what's going to determine what I do as far as that recovery is concerned, I'm still trying to get a workout, but just cool it down. So when I walk, it's usually on a leg day. Like if I walk on a treadmill like that, it's because I've done legs and I'm trying to just stretch my legs out. You know what I'm saying? Walk out the soreness before it starts to get sore. Your muscles only start getting sore once you start letting them sit. So it's just always to keep active. And then so after I do like a day that I do arms or upper body, I do core every day. But if I do arms and back, those are the days that I'll do, my cool down will be on the Stairmaster, because I can still work my legs, but I'm cooling down like the rest of my body. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still getting some cardio in.
So here's the thing. Anytime I take a break from working out and I get back into it, I'm always sore like this. My legs are always
That's the key to not
hurting.
the key is to not take a break.
Yeah, well, here I am because I took a long break and I have no. What I was about to say is, even with me going, when I go to the gym late at night and work out, if I know I'm not gonna be able to go to the gym the next night, when I wake up, especially on the days I work from home, I do silly stuff like I walk to Dunkin' Donuts down there. By the time I walk to Dunkin' Donuts and walk back home, that's like a 2.5, almost 3 mile walk. But I'll just walk so my body won't get sore. So by the time I done got up and did all of that, I'll do that first thing in the morning, come home, take a shower, and I'm set for the day. Like, and I'm not tired, like how I was talking about on my TikTok the other day. Like, it's not a workout per se where I'm tired and can't do anything for the rest of the day, but it got my muscles moving enough that they couldn't sit to be sore. And I do just a lot of like moving around period. Like even at work, because on the second floor of my building, they have this walking, I don't want to call it a path because it's just a circle around the building, but they have like a lane for people to walk in. And so sometimes I'll be at work and like if I'm reading a document for work, like a long something and I'm just reading, I might take it up there and put it in my hands and just read and walk around. Like and it's weird because I used to always laugh like walking don't do nothing for you, but now the older that I'm getting, we cannot that walking is so underrated. Like people downplay it, but it's so helpful because it'll stretch your body and work out that soreness without making you overly sore like after the fact. Well, in the meantime, I'm gonna probably invest. Well, I actually do have a pressure gun, and just kind of because in the beginning of working out,
and you need to foam
it's
roll.
Always. Oh yeah, I think. No, I don't have a foam roller. I need to get one of those. I did enjoy that when I was working out more consistently and lifting. But jumping back into it, I was lifting kind of heavy for like somebody that's just getting back into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was lifting a comfortable, still comfortable, of course. Like I wasn't straining.
Yeah.
Being mindful of that. But I was getting a challenge. So it makes sense that I would be,
you probably
sore.
should have just started a little bit smaller. Because I'll do that. If I take 2 or 3 weeks off, when I go back, like if I know I've been, like for example, I might leg press like 110. If I go back after a week or so, and it's been a long time, I might not start off on the 110. I might start off on like a 70 for like the first 2 days. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll go back,
get back
and push it. Like actually go to my last number because your body will do that to you. Like
So, I mean, I'm learning and growing and working through it, and we'll see how it goes. I am going to spray this magnesium oil on me, though, and see what happens. Because in the beginning, it's always like this. And then, like, I would say after, after a week or so of just consistent, truly consistent working out, it goes away, and then I don't feel that soreness after the next lifting session, or the next water aerobic session. So we'll see. I do want to jump into sound check because I have something very exciting to share that I did not share on the last episode. I went to go see The Wiz on Broadway in Detroit, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was at the Fisher where we went to go see Clue. Yeah, very, very nice show. The set design, everything, their spin on the costumes and the storyline was really cool. You know when Dorothy gets to which in the original it was Munchkin Land, when she gets to that fictional place. Theirs was like they set it up to where she was in like New Orleans. It had like this New Orleans spin on it, which I thought was really cool. The singing, which is why it's in soundcheck, the singing in this Broadway musical in The Wiz was insane. And, you know, everybody could sing. Not just like, oh, they sound okay. Like, no, everybody was like blowing, singing crazy. And I feel like I never thought about this, but you really have to be a triple threat to be on Broadway. You got to be able to act, dance, and sing. Yeah. And that's so difficult to do. Also, just thinking of the fact that they have back-to-back shows, you know, in different places. And they are really doing this. Like, these are not recordings of them singing. They're actively dancing and singing. And so Dorothy, the young lady that played Dorothy, was amazing. Her voice is beautiful. And literally the entire cast, everyone that sang, amazing. Eveline, crazy vocals. I mean, I was like, I probably would threw my shoe at her. Like, you know how the old folks be doing stuff like that, like in a good way. Yeah, she was insane. Even Glinda, like, there was not a single person that could not sing on this cast. The one person I feel like that may have been, I don't want to say he's my favorite because it's so hard to pick one, because I loved Eveline's voice and Dorothy too. The Tin Man, his voice, at one point, I looked at my friend, it was like, okay. He was singing that song, What Would I Do?
Oh, if I could feel the Nipsey Russell. Oh my God, that's my favorite song from Wizard of all time. What would I do if I could feel? Yeah. That's like literally what I'm talking about, one of my favorite songs of all times, because people don't know that Nas sampled that and made a song called Surviving the Times. And those are like two of my favorite songs, but that's always been my favorite. That's my, people like Ease On Down the Road and You Can't Win, but that, and it's so crazy because I felt like now that I'm an adult and I could process it, that was always my song, like even as a kid, my favorite part of the movie. But I've always felt like that. Like, am I allowed to feel? Like, you know, we talked about in the last episode, I've been overly responsible. I've been so busy. Like, it's that one thing. And he's like, if I could just feel, if I could live, like, and feel what other people feel. And it's such a deep song. Like, yeah, I love that song. It is.
Even just like, it made me look at the storyline of The Wiz in a different way, seeing it in that way, and really listening to what they're saying in the script and how Tin Man described his life before having this spell put on him by, you know, Eveline. And it's just really interesting. Like, how do you get to this point in your life where you can't, you know, feel? And then just the fact that they went on this quest looking for this man that supposedly had all this power, and he ain't had nothing. He just convinced people. He believed in himself that much that he convinced people that he was the almighty Wiz, essentially. And then in that script on Broadway, they also said that he had some type of deal with Eveline, to like psych the people out.
But we just talked about that last week on the last episode when I was like, people will hate on you for wanting something, and if they believe in hating you more than you believe in yourself, it's gonna happen. Like, you, and I'm not trying to be funny, and you know, y'all know I try to stay away from this, but it's the whole thing with Diddy. Like, Diddy is who he is because he believed that that's who he was. Once we start seeing all this house of cards start tumbling down, like, people like, shit, Diddy ain't the one with the power. His mama the one with the power because his daddy was a gangbanger. Like, all of this stuff starting to come out, and it's not the people who we thought it was. Like, we talked, remember I told y'all on like probably like 10 episodes ago, Ray J is a blood. He is the one calling a lot of shots in LA, and people think it's people like Suge Knight. Suge Knight and Ray J got this beef because Ray J was supposed to be holding Suge down in prison and doing stuff for him, and Ray J just took over stuff. Like, it's not the people with the power. It's not who we think it is. It's we think that they are what we think they are because they've convinced themselves that that's what they are, and they've done a good job convincing us too. But if we just take it a step further, like, they're never that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we always sit here, like, we so quick to, like, give people this power and believe, like, you know, all of these things these people say and take it as fact and face value, and it's kind of like, that ain't even the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? This could be as far from reality as true, but that's the whiz. All of those people were sold this reality about themselves that wasn't true. The lion was told he was a coward.
Yeah.
The scarecrow was told he ain't had no brain. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was all these things. They believed these things about themselves because some weird ass lady told them that this was what was true.
That is true, and no pun intended.
Yeah.
That is true, no pun intended. But yeah, like the lion, I was thinking about like the lion storyline on Broadway, and he was like, his pride. That's what he used. He said, my pride had been taken away from me, and they were put in a zoo. But I feel like that word alone was kind of like a play on words.
Yes,
yeah, where it's like, make you think a little bit deeper into the storyline of the lion and how he got to the point where he was. And then also when he was put in a position where, you know, they go on this quest and they get attacked and he took off running. Yeah. And then they came back like, why would you take off running? We could have used your help. And he was just like, I froze because it reminded me of what happened before. Yeah, and it put me in this mindset, you know, to when my pride was taken and I didn't know what to do. It's just really, really deep and very thought-provoking, and it was just beautifully done. I'm so glad that I had a chance to experience that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the people who played in The Wiz, the cast members. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do in their careers because everybody was so incredibly talented, and the production itself was just so professional and so well done, and it was so black. Like it was for us. Like the stuff that they were saying, you know, we have our little sayings that we recognize as a people culturally across the board, and they put that into the script, and I thought that was so cool to see. It's always cool to see that type of thing on Broadway.
Well, speaking of black culture, and back to the beginning of the episode with our drum roll. You know, I'm always in the shower thinking, y'all. And this is where I get a lot of my sound check content from because I take these long studio showers. You know, got to have the right playlist. Got to have everything set up. And the other day I was in the shower and I was listening to I think it was my Atlanta classic throwbacks or something. And why don't we give Yin Yang Twins enough credit?
We don't.
Yin Yang Twins are so underrated. We just on Get Low alone, but it was so many songs that the Yin Yang Twins brought us that we just did not give them a fair credit for. I don't know if it's because they was funny looking, you know, and all that other stuff. And then if you take it a step further,
I feel like that's part of it.
Yeah, that's definitely a majority of the reason.
Because if they were heartthrobs, can you imagine?
Oh yeah, because the songs that they were singing was the songs that had you in the club. I remember how we were talking about on the last episode. Half of the Yin Yang Twins discography, I can vividly remember being at house parties in somebody's mama basement in high school with the lights off, grinding on somebody's son on the wall while his dusty friend was holding him up. Okay, that's what the Yin Yang Twins was doing to our era, and it's just it was magnificent, and I just don't think we give them enough credit, especially the dude. I think it was D-Rock, the dude they called D-Rock in the group. He was the one who made what's up with the Bankhead Bounce, what came out damn near 20 years, well probably 15 years before they introduced themselves as the Yin Yang Twins. He was 15 when he wrote that song. And when I say it's just that era, it's so many songs, and it's weird because a lot of people don't even recognize the singings, but Salt Shaker, it was so many songs that they brought us, say ah yeah 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 yeah, whistle while you twerk, come on now, you can't say to them songs wait, hey, how you doing, little mama, let me whisper in your ear, tell you something that you might like to hear. Come on now,
that is true.
Mind if I touch it and see if it's soft? To say something like that,
no, I'm just
come on, man. Yes, listen, That, remember they had the song, they made the song, that used to be my song that they made with Mike Jones. I'm looking for a dime. That's top of the line. Slim face, cute waist, and a big behind. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You want this money, then you gotta be a bad bitch.
I like
Shake
that
that ass
song.
for the, like, come on. Like, Yin Yang Twins. And that's back to what I was saying on that last episode about our era of twerk music. Like, granted, don't get me wrong. We grew up twerking probably when we wasn't supposed to the, you know, I remember me and my god sister used to be on the porch at 5 o'clock on a Friday waiting on the Detroit house mixes to drop for our auntie to be like, get y'all ass in the house because y'all outside doing too much, because we was hip rolling and everything else.
Right.
Like, I remember that we grew up to that. We learned how to, you know, to twerk to that kind of music, but what we could actually go to the club and dance, and we were going to parties, whether you were in high school going to house parties or at college parties, or if you was like me and you was sneaking between the two because you was in high school but you had college friends, so you was going somewhere you ain't had no business going. These were the songs that we listened to. Like, when vividly I can say, like, when some of these songs come on, I can vividly put myself into a mental place. Like for example, Bedroom Boom. I remember my high school best friend Chris. We used to listen to that song all the time. Like, me and him, he used to have this little Volkswagen, and to this day, me and him still talk about it. I'd be like, remember we used to have a Fox? He used to have this little Volkswagen, and it used to be so raggedy. It used to break down all the time. But he used to
got you from A to B, didn't it?
Listen, it got us. He used to take us to Wendy's after school. We used to get food because this was before I got my car, and we would bump Yin Yang Twins. It was a song called Bedroom Boom. And when I tell you, we used to play that song out. And it was weird because the way we used to play it in the car, you would think we was a couple. And we wasn't even like that. He had a girlfriend, I had a boyfriend. That was our song. But I can vividly remember us riding around in this little bitty Volkswagen. And it was a manual at that. Like, it wasn't even automatic transmission. So he used to have to switch the gears, you know what I'm saying? Make sure the clutch was right. We used to be in this bitch rolling. Exactly. But we did it. But those were it's that, like, the Yin Yang Twins, like, you play that kind of stuff, and it puts me in, like, a real, that's one of them things of, I feel like 20 years from now, you know, somebody gonna be playing, and I could be sitting on the porch telling my kids, like, you don't even know nothing about this. Like, this was before you was even thought of. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was in high school. Because those were the songs, like, but Yin Yang Twins, people just don't give them enough credit, and I just feel like, you know, once again, if they wasn't funny looking, you know, it would have been, you know, a little bit different for them. Because, you know, at that time, that's when you had people coming out like T.I., you know what I'm saying? Like, on that Atlanta scene, niggas was handsome. You know what I'm saying? They was real cute. And
T.I. was fine.
Listen, you know who used to be fine back in the day, too? And a lot of people look at me crazy when I say this until they think about it. And you go back and look at some old pictures. But Trick Daddy used to be fine.
Definitely.
Trick Daddy used to be fine back in the day. And then
Trick Daddy would have had me, I fear.
Listen, Trick Daddy used to be fine.
Yes. Yep.
And you know,
are not wrong about that.
He started doing them drugs, and lupus came, and life just took a different tone.
He was doing drugs?
He got a real bad coke habit.
Wow, I didn't
like
know
that's
that.
why his lupus used to be so bad. Like, he used to talk about it. Like, he got arrested for having cocaine, like, maybe a few years ago for possession, but he done had like seizures and stuff as a result of it, and his lupus has been in jeopardy because of that as well. Like, he talk about it.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he like doing, like, you know, real drugs, and so because of that, I just feel like, you know, that stuff eat at your skin and it make you look weird, and so. But yeah, Trick Daddy used to be fine.
A lot of things that people don't think it do.
Trick Daddy used to be fine. Like, I'm talking about fine.
Yep. He was handsome. Well, so much for Trick Daddy. Seems like he's still making himself relevant some way somehow, which is a cool thing, I guess. So yeah, he was fine for sure. I saw an old video of him and I was like, dang. Yeah. And he had them gold. Yeah.
Yeah, he was that was a definitely he was a different type of guy back then.
Very handsome guy.
But he's one of those dudes that, like, now, like, think about it. When you see people, like, older people, and they be together, and you be like, oh, like, yeah, y'all had 7 kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, you let him get on top of you 7 different times? Yeah. And then when you look at some old pictures, you be like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Life has done you dirty, sir, because you used to be fine. I'd have let you get on top of me 7 plus 7 and 7 more. back then, but not now. Like, no. Like, that's how I feel
7
about...
plus 7 is 7 more. 21 is crazy.
That's how I look at Trick Daddy, because, like, for example, that's how everybody, like, Joy, the lady that he was married to, that he wouldn't let go from Love and Hip Hop.
Oh,
People
yeah.
be like, she got with him, she liked him. I'm like, look how he was looking back then.
Yeah, he looked completely different.
Because she got with him and took care of his kids. Like, he had, I think, 3 or 4 kids, but she said she helped him raise his kids. They don't have any biological children together. She's never given birth to a child. She's taking care of all his kids. They call her mom and everything, though. Like, she's like raised them to the point that they've graduated high school.
That's
all
a special woman.
Yeah, because they were like married, and he, she's been trying to divorce him, and he won't sign the divorce papers. He won't let her go because he said that she can't find a man that's gonna take care of her better than him. But back to what we said last episode.
That's one of my worst fears. Like, and just. Yeah, we did talk about that. Like, men not wanting women to get over them after they've done wrong. Mm-hmm. But speaking of that, like, that's one of my worst fears is getting married and the shit doesn't work out and your partner refusing to sign the papers because they just being ornery. Like, they just don't want to. Yeah. They just don't want you to move on with your life, and they want you to be confined to them for the rest of yours. I think that's insane.
Yeah,
and that's scary.
They definitely be playing, and I don't have time to play like that.
But yeah, no, I don't want to play like that ever. Actually, I do have a question for you though. Mm-hmm. How has a past relationship shaped your current view of love? And it could be any kind of relationship. It can be a platonic relationship, friendship, family. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but romantic would probably be like the most prevalent.
This episode of The Soulful Stir has been brought to you by Bugg Organics. Bugg Organics is a 100% Black woman-owned apothecary. Bugg Organics offers a host of 100% vegan and organic condition and body oils. Bugg Organics is known for their Tash Tonic stimulating hair growth oil. It is a 100% organic scalp oil that stimulates hair growth follicles as well as soothes the scalp. They also are known for their Mr. Beard Stuff, which is a highly sought after beard oil for the fellas, as well as their Body Slick body oils that comes in 4 different fragrances. Shop with Bugg Organics and check them out online at www.ladybug with 2 G's, so that is LADYBUGG organics.com. Also, all of their socials are Ladybug Organics as well. They have a platform on Instagram as well as Facebook and would love for you to follow as well as shop. Okay, so this is gonna get a little deep. So I can't say, and I'm gonna say this. It's funny that we even having this conversation because yesterday I actually had this thought in the car and was like, I'm gonna bring this up on the pod. Never thought it would be on this episode, but it's hard to ask me questions like that because I will honestly say, as I've addressed in previous episodes, I've played life very safe. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna correct myself when I say it, because it's gonna sound weird, but it's not what it seems like. But when I say that is that I tend to play it very safe when it comes to life, and I've in this time of reflection, I've reflected on past relationships. One of the things, and I know people might hear this and be like, "Oh, okay, whatever," but one of the things that I always talk about when I talk about my past relationships is that literally every like real serious relationship, like committed relationship where we hold out as boyfriend, girlfriend, we family involvement, blah, 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 blah. Every single relationship I've been in, with the exception of one, was with an Aries.
Wow.
And so I say that to say that it's really hard for me to say what something has taught me in one relationship to help me in another one, because maybe subconsciously, because I play it so safe, is why I usually feel more willing to be in a relationship. Like, I can be courting, several men can be courting me at a time, and usually what'll happen is the Aries will usually be the one that wins out, and the person that I feel more comfortable with. For one, my father is an Aries, so I can start there. But I say that they present a familiarity in men that I'm used to, in certain traits and things that I like. And me and my friends often talk about that. To me, an Aries man is usually very charismatic. It's usually a provider. It's usually a very dominant but not aggressive man. Like, it's so many things about them that I usually like. And I say all that to say that a lot of the men I date are usually some of the same type of person. So I don't really feel like I learn a lesson more so than I learn how to better maneuver and decipher the rules of engagement, put it that way. Because, like, you know, the situation that, you know, you and I talked about before we got on air, it was kind of like, sir, I already knew what you was on because you the type of I usually date. You know what I'm saying? So I already knew that you were trying to get my attention when you did X, Y, and Z, because I'm used to dudes doing X, Y, and Z, because those are the types, you know what I'm saying?
And feel like you have like the manual to the Aries already.
And so that's why I say I play it safe. And so because I know them, you know, I was raised by one. So because I know how they do and I know the kind of stuff they do, it gives me a level of comfort. Like, I already know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think because I have this fear of, you know, I will say I have a fear of heartbreak. I have a fear of being married in an unfulfilled marriage. I have a lot of fears about that because I didn't see healthy marriages in my family growing up. You know, I didn't see the let's get together and let's have children and live happily ever after. I seen the let's get married because you got 4 kids, I got 4 kids, and we might as well get together and then we might make it work. I've seen the let's get married, have a kid, and I'm gonna cheat on you the whole time, or let's get married and have a kid, and I might not be unfaithful, but we don't have intimacy. And I don't mean intimacy as in sex, but we don't go out as a couple. We don't do those things. And I've been so adamant about not wanting that in my life. I think it makes it easier for me to choose an Aries man because I know that they fit at least the on paper version of what I want my man to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know everybody's different. People's lives will put them in different places and they'll learn and do different things. But for the most part, as far as like dating, I know on paper, like if I'm talking about checking boxes, majority of the time they're going to check those boxes. So I know that it's kind of like one of those things of I don't have to do the extra work. Like, I don't got to figure out if you like to spend your money because I know Aries men like to trick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I ain't trying to be funny, but and it's hard for me to date other men because once again, I got to figure out what you like. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I watch, my brother is a Gemini. I watch him date his girlfriend. They in love with each other. My brother cheap as hell. Like, I never date a man like that. You know what I'm saying? If all Gemini men cheap, absolutely not. But I know Aries men are a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that, and because this is what I like, this is what I like. So I'm going to go over here where I don't want to have to convince you to spend your money on me. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk to you and you be like, you know what, girl, here you go. Because I know you need it. I know you want it.
So you're saying that you have the manual to the Aries, and so it's kind of hard for you to, it's kind of hard for you to decipher what you've learned from them, aside from what you've learned to shape your view set on love. Is that what you're saying?
Like, yeah, because I don't, and because I don't look at it like, the reason why I say that is because to me, love and in love are different things. And like, when I think about relationships, I think about the more of the in love than the love. Like, I'm going to love you, period. But in order for a relationship to be healthy, I have to at some point feel the furries. I have to feel the bubblies. I have to feel this in love feeling. Mm-hmm. And I know Aries men will make me feel that way because they're spontaneous. They do different things that make you be like, ooh, it's kind of cute. You know what I'm saying? But I also know they toxic. Like, I also know after so long we don't work out, which is why I'm here. Ride, this is why I'm here on like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can count on 2 hands how many of them I've had. But once again, I think that because of the love, what I'm saying with the love is I have a fear of being heartbroken. I have a fear of that. And I think with an Aries, I can kind of gauge like when we're at that point of like checking out from each other. Yeah. So it doesn't, so it allows me to still be guarded, but open at the same time.
It prepares a safety net for yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. It's because you have the manual.
Yes. Because I know how to move with them. I know how to, when I'm done, I know how to disconnect. You know what I'm saying? I know when they're done, how they're going to start acting. Like, it kind of just, it takes the guesswork out of it for me, if that makes sense.
Well, I will say that something that I learned, and you just talked about being in love and loving somebody, something that I've learned from past relationships is that the feeling of being in love is fleeting.
Yeah.
And so you have to realize, at least for me, I've realized that love is just not enough for me. Like,
oh no, it's not.
It's not enough. There has to be other aspects. There have to be other aspects of the relationship that are at play in order for it to work. And you kind of hit on some of those things. Like, the fuzzies do have to be there. You have to play into my love language, or at least acknowledge what that is, because even that, like, I believe in love languages, and if we're not catering to that on both ends of the spectrum, not just my partner, but I also have to water him in that way, I feel like that's my responsibility, then it gets a little dicey. And when you start to talk about having children, getting married, is this something that you want? Even thinking about religious practices, morals and values. How do you want to lead your household? How do you want to lead your children? Do you even want children? Taking all these things into consideration quickly makes you realize that love is just not enough. Yeah. And one of my ex relationships, I had to learn that the hard way, because it was one thing for me to have known that partner since we were in high school. We had a good friendship. We never dated during that time frame, and once we got older, we reconnected, got into a relationship. I love this person as my friend. I fell in love with this person based off of how this person treated me, the level of intimacy and connectivity that we had with each other. But this person also had a lot of baggage that he was carrying around, and I'm not just talking about just how his life was, his whole setup at the time, but the fact that he had a lot of emotional trauma that was unaddressed, and a lot of emotional immaturity that was unchecked, and he was unwilling to learn and unwilling to compromise on a lot of things that were critical and that just were not, they were deal breakers. But I constantly fell into this cycle of, well, who's going to help him? Who's going to be a friend to him? And I had to realize that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. No,
his situation, his life situation. Up until that point, I had been, again, the responsible one, the one with the solutions, the one that's like, oh no, the fixer, because I am a light and I know that about myself. But that could be harmful if you don't know how to harness it in different ways, or you start to feel the responsibility of partnership in that way, and it's one-sided. And it became one-sided more and more, to where it was like, you know what? I do love this person as a friend, and I can still love that person as a friend and not feel responsible for them. I quickly saw that the in love part had come and gone. Like, I was no longer in love with this person. Yeah. And once that went away and there was no way to retrieve it because it was just constant static, I was like, dang, I'm kind of good on this. So now, like, I'm in the mindset of understanding that there have to be specific things at play in order for a relationship to truly work. Granted, it's not going to be, it's like any other aspect of life. It's not going to be rainbows and peaches all the time. Like, we know that, but it has to be more than love.
Yeah, no, for sure. It has to be more than love. And it's interesting that you even brought that part up about the love languages, because essentially, like, those are the things that, like you said, I can navigate, because it's like Aries man, like physical touch. Like, I can tell you about somebody, about an Aries man, before they can tell you about themselves. Like, I know them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've studied them. But like I said, they can cater to those things that I need. I like gifts. I like acts of service. You know what I'm saying? I like a man that's going to do this. You know what I'm saying? Come to my house, take my trash out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I tell you I need this, do this. Like, it's weird, because I was in a situation before where, like, I dated somebody, and, like, they asked me, they did all this stuff to, like, ask me all these things about myself that I liked, like, to get the preferences about me. But then every chance that they had to express that they were retaining the information that I was giving them, they were, I don't know if it was an adamant, intentional, like, I'm just going to do the opposite because I don't care what you like, or if it was just like, I'm really just slow because I've told you. Like, you've asked me, like, for example, don't ask me what I like to drink, and I say I drink dark red wine. Like, I drink dry red wine because everybody knows I don't drink white. Like, anybody has known me enough know that I like what I like, and I'm going to provide that if that's what I want. So this is what I want. I keep telling you this, and then you say, oh, we about to go somewhere. I'm going to grab us a bottle of wine, and then you go in there and buy some sweet shit. Like,
yeah, so
that's an adamant, like, in my face. Like, I don't give a damn what you like.
And I feel like it's hard because I've been in those situations too where I'm giving you the manual. I'm teaching you how to treat me, how to court me, and you're doing the complete opposite. Now I'm starting to think that, are you trying to unspoil me or something?
Exactly.
Are you trying to just go against the grain to try to break me down? Because that's like, it's trying to get me to compromise with whatever you feel like doing.
And that's my point. And to me, Aries, and see, other people might see Aries different. To me, Aries men ain't nothing but lover boys. I could tell them I want something or I like something, and every last one of them. You know what I'm saying? I could say, I like this. Like, I remember when me and Michael first started dating years ago, I would be like, oh, I like this. He would just show up. Here, it could be anything. You know, I know you like these kind of chips. I know you like this. You know what I'm saying? It's, when I was pregnant, he'd be like, boom, I already know you want some lemonade. Let me go to Chick-fil-A and get you a gallon. You know what I'm saying? Just, that's how they think. And that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's those types of things. Like, certain, like, small stuff. I used to joke with my dad about, like, you know, my dad is a man. He don't want to eat. He drink a lot of pop. He do this. He do that. He eat a lot of potatoes. Eat a lot of meat. He don't eat this. I would talk to my dad about doing ghetto shit, like having bar soap in his bathroom for guests. I would go to my dad's house and he'd be like, here, I got some liquid hand soap. You know what I'm saying? I know you said that you prefer to watch. And my dad, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is a man that raised me. So I'm going to expect somebody out here trying to get parts of me that he don't get. Right. To do more than that. Like, that's how I was raised. Like, my family, we're gift-giving people. Like, to this day, it's funny because Michael laughed. He'd be like, I could not, when I first started, he used to tell me all the time, like, when I first started dating you, when you used to talk about gifts and stuff, like, you know how people will say it because, oh, I'm going to set the tone. This is what I want somebody to do for me. And he was like, no, y'all really about this. Like, to this day, my mama still get me and my brother Easter baskets. We all buy each other stuff for Valentine's Day. Like, you know, we might wake up, it could be a Friday. My brother send me and my mama some money, be like, hey, coffee on me this morning. We're just those types of people. And so I can't be with somebody who is not considerate like that. Like, because it's not about dollar amount. It's about little stuff
that's tapping into your morals and values. Yes. And like the foundation of how you've been brought up too. And I also think that when you grow up like that, it taps into your love languages as well. Because this is what you're accustomed to. And this is how you feel loved and appreciated. Because this is what your parents have always done. Your siblings, you've done it for yourself. And you've done it for each other. And that's how you show appreciation. So that totally makes sense. And that rings true for me too. We're gift-giving people as well. Very generous people when it comes to people that we love. And we're just generous people in general. Yeah. But yeah, I can 100% get that. That was actually a really great thought-provoking question, I thought. And I was just curious about your thoughts on it.
Well, I'm going to get a little messy.
Okay.
Because I got questions along the same lines, but you know, they're a little spicy. So somebody asked me, you know, somebody asked me the other day, you know, like, how do you differentiate? What are the boundaries that you set? And this is why I'm going to go back to the hedonism thing that we brought up earlier. But like, what boundaries do you set between like your actual man and just, you know, your hoes? Like, what do you set? Like, because somebody asked me, like, who meets your friends? Like, how does a man know when he's like at that point with you, like that you actually like him? Like, is it, you know how some people like, oh, you know how back in the day it was like, oh, when I introduced you to my mama, you know, but nowadays it's not always the mom that's the pinnacle of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Some people's mamas is different. Like, for example, in my family, everybody laughed because my brother, it's to my brothers, my younger brothers, it's when you meet my sister, because I'm the one that's hard. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is going to like you and all the other stuff, but I'm going to sit it's gonna be no joke. Like to this day, my brother's girlfriend, she's like, I remember when I first met your brother. He's like, cause she used to always ask about your sister. And he like, oh no, you can meet my mama. He like, but when my sister, he like, I don't know what my sister gonna say to you, what she gonna do to you. Like I remember the very first time I met his girlfriend, she walked in her house and I was like, why you got that wrestling outfit on? And she was like, what? That? And I told her, I said, she looked like the Big Show, the wrestler. And to this day, I still call her Big Show. They still together. Now. It's been some years. She just stuck around. But he know I'm going to say it. Like, they know I'm going to say whatever. But also, too, that's one of my love languages. People in my family, we talk shit. So my brother also told her, too, like, my sister's going to ask you the hard questions. But if she started talking shit, you know what I'm saying? She started joking with you. She's comfortable with you. Because if not, I will sit in the room with you and not say nothing if I don't like you. But if I like you, we going to laugh. We going to joke. We going to have a good time. So, you know, that's one of the questions. So what do you do? Like, how do you know, what is your personal boundary to know, like, okay, I'm taking you here. Like, what is that thing? Because before my grandfather passed, it was my grandfather. It was, if you meet my grandfather, you in there. Because I don't take nobody to meet my granddaddy. Like, that's a big thing to me. You ain't meeting my granddaddy under no circumstances, because that was like my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. You could meet my daddy, and that was like meeting my cousin, because that was just my, you know, I didn't care. But my granddad was that thing. But it's like, do you have certain friends that is like, okay, I could bring, if you just anybody, I could bring you around my friends, but I ain't bringing you around my friends. You know, like, do you have separate friend groups for that? Like, how do you differentiate that?
So I have a lot of friends, but I have, you know, obviously we all have friends that we're closer with. Mm-hmm. I would say if they meet Janelle, then they're in a good spot. Beforehand, to know if you're really in there, you have to meet my dad. Okay. Because even my ex that I lived with this man, he had never met my dad. Okay. He never met my dad. And it's because, for one, like, I just saw the way that things were going, and I was just like, yeah, no, I don't know if I want you to be my dad. Because my dad was cool, but, like, you know, first time meeting, he would be a little harder, you know, on them, because they don't know really to try to mix it up. I feel like they don't know what type of bag he coming out of. But yeah, if you met my dad, then you would have been okay. Now I would probably say it's between, like, meeting Janelle. Really, I would just say, like, if you meet the majority of my close friends and my mom, okay, you know, you can be, you're in good hands, like Allstate. If you've met those people, then we're in a good spot. Because I'm such a private person. Oh, maybe even my Sands too, my line sisters. Because my line sisters are wild cards. I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know what they're going to do and what they're going to bring up. Most of the time they're on their best behavior, but sometimes, you know, it just might be a wild day where they just like, what are we going to ask him now? But I'm such a private person that they know if I bring somebody around that I must really like this person, because I can date somebody I've had situationships with people that have never met some of my closest friends. They've never met my line sisters. They don't know any, as far as they're concerned, I'm making it up. Yeah. I'm making up these relationships that I talk about. So I had to be like, it's a toss up, but yeah.
Okay, so I kind of feel like that. Like, it's weird because I think my situation is different because, like, my best friends don't live here. So it's one of those situations where, like, if I were to date somebody, like, if they were to come here, it'd kind of be like, okay, cool, I can introduce you to them. But for me to take you to Atlanta and, like, be showing you off, like, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's just a lot for me. You know what I'm saying? Because if I take you to Atlanta, it would have to be, I would say that, like, at this point in my life, I think to date somebody, I think that would be the thing for me to be like, if I intentionally was like, okay, I'm taking you to Atlanta with me. because that's an all-encompassing thing of meeting my sister, my mother. You know what I'm saying? More than likely, my brother is gonna come home. You know what I'm saying? Two of my best friends are there. Like, you're gonna see a different side of me in Atlanta than you see here, because of the people that are there. So I think I think that would be the thing for me. But what I was gonna say was, it made me think about, just to take it a step further, like with the hedonism thing. Like, so what do you? It's like we kind of posed earlier. It's like, do you do that with your husband, or do you do that with somebody that you just dating? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you do want to experience that with somebody, but how do you experience it? Like, do you think your husband, you like, it's kind of one of those things. I think you have to just make the judgment, but it's like, is our relationship strong enough, whether it's a marriage or a relationship, for us to embark on this together? Or do I need to go and do this with somebody that there's no strings attached with? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that largely depends on the relationship and the type of relationship that you have with the individual. Yeah. So if your husband is into that, and y'all have, a relationship where he's willing to explore and be open, and he supports that, then I think that you'll be fine with going to a place like hedonism, and taking your partner along with you. But then you also have to, I feel like being in places like that, it can get a little dicey, because when you're in a committed relationship or a marriage, regardless of whether you're in a committed relationship or a marriage versus just with somebody, you're dating them, y'all have a great grounds for friendship, whatever, there has to be rules in place and guidelines of how you're interacting with people in a place like that. What is the game plan? What are, safe words, things like that, right? Yeah. That go into play. But I think that the rules get more granular when you are in a committed relationship or marriage. Yeah. So if you have those things in place, then I don't see why not. But I think that largely just depends on the person, your partner. Like, what is their preference? Is that something that they're into or not? Do you have, a strong foundation in your relationship where you feel like you can have an experience like that and really trust that person? Because it does require a high level of trust to be able to, it requires a high level of trust and respect to be able to navigate a space like that. And not everybody can do that.
And to that point, I think that's why, in my mind, for me, I think, once again, I have not experienced this, so I don't know, but I look at it like, maybe it's the opposite, is I look at it like I probably would be more willing to do it with someone who is not my partner, only because, to me, I think people, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you're always trying to impress that person and have a certain view. And I feel like if you maybe myself, like, I wouldn't express certain stuff because I just wouldn't want you to look at me like, damn, that's what you out here trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And I think when it's just somebody that you're casual with, there's usually like no strings. Usually it should be like no strings attached and no judgment, because this is just what we in it for. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, we're just in it for the fun, pleasure parts. Like, I'm not looking at you to evaluate me on my decisions and say like, well, damn, you would make a good wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yes, I want you to be the mother of my child. Like, no, nigga, we in a whole nother situation. But if I were with my partner, especially my husband, husband I think is different. But if you're with like a fiance or a partner that you're not yet married to, I just look at it like, I think I would be feeling like in the back of my mind, like, I don't want to do certain things because I don't want you to look at me different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want your perception of me to change.
So you wouldn't want to do it if you were with your husband?
My husband is a little different, because I think for us to make it to the whole marriage point of things, we gotta be just open. We just gotta be there. Like, it's different in a date. You see what I'm saying? Like, when you're in that situation, like, I'm not sure if we're there yet, because anything could just kind of like make this person be like, oh, nah, I don't
so it's like, well, in that way, it's like, You're saying that you don't want to be judged by somebody who you're still building that potential relationship and trying to get to the level of marriage with. You wouldn't want to do it with somebody on that level because you're afraid of them judging you.
Yeah.
Well, you may as well just try it on and then get them out of there if they're not with it. Because if it's something that you desire to do, then, or this is a part of you, then this is a part of you that makes for a greater pleasurable experience overall, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not able to play into that idea of pleasure or indulge in that form of pleasure and that part of you that that part of you that is important, then how is this relationship going to work in the long run? Facts. You're going to end up compromising more often than not. You're going to compromise a lot. Because I feel like situations like that, it starts with that. So you may as well just let them know.
Yeah, I mean, or, I guess I never really thought about it like that. It's
nothing wrong with bringing it up, at least to say like, hey, what would you think about this? Because that's a part of dating, right? We're just collecting data on people and they're collecting data on us. So what are you going to do with this data that I'm about to share with you? And if you are a person that's going to judge me, then maybe you're not my person, because the person that I'm looking for is not going to judge me based off of what I find pleasurable or what I'm interested in that spectrum.
And I agree with that. And then I think also too, to take it a step further, I think I don't want, maybe I look at it like it's different with my husband, because I think once you get to that level with somebody, your expectations and y'all respect for each other is a lot different. Like I wouldn't want, like, you know, I overthink. So I think about all these things, but I wouldn't want to like do this with a partner and then it just overshadows and becomes a whole, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you to think because we out here one time that we about to go back home and we just
gonna be doing it all the time.
Yeah,
well, like, that's why the rules got to be in place, right? Like,
facts.
You have to go in it with a clear understanding of this is a one-time experience, or you know, something that I always wanted to do. Are you willing to do that? The expectation is X, Y, and Z. I'm not expecting that we're going to get home and just be frequent flyers of this community. I'm not seeking to be a part of this community, but I do want to experience this with you. Are you down?
Yeah.
You know, if you have those type of conversations, I feel like it makes for a better outcome in the situation moving forward. But if you're just willy-nilly doing it and you don't say, yeah, things get a little dicey.
Yeah.
A little questionable. Well, that was a great question. My gears are going to be turning now that I'm thinking of all of this. Do you have anything else for the people, Tash?
No, but I don't. We have a confession?
We do have a confession. I was going to save it because we're almost at an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah, we can wait.
So we try to be mindful of our time on air. Yeah, and we don't want to cut anything short, as we dive into our segment. So thank you for listening to another episode of the Soulful Stir. Have an amazing week ahead.
Y'all have a good week. Listen, tell your friend, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Follow, listen, do all the fun stuff.
Everything. Bye.
See y'all later.